on this topic called animal nutrition. Basically, from last class, we talked about the nutrition as a whole, and then we broke it down into two pairs. We said we got what? Plant nutrition and animal nutrition, and then we pieces everything that we make you to understand that the form in which animals feed or living entity feed is what we call autotrophism and what? Heterotrophism. You got me? And so we talk about the plant nutrition, we broke it down, start talking about photosynthesis, and then we finish our aspect of photosynthesis and make it to understand what can happen, what can go on in photosynthesis, and I gave you the brain limelight of everything. So today, we're going to animal nutrition, and I told you the first thing we're going to start with is what? Balanced diet. That's going to be the first thing we're going to start with, balanced diet. If I tell you now to define balanced diet, most of you will tell me it's a diet that consists of all the 6 classes of what? Food in the right word, proportion. But I tell you, if you put that definition into your book, for those who are WAEC, that's what we call total failure. You failed already because we don't have 6 classes of food. We don't have 6 classes of food. We got 7 classes of food. We don't have 6 classes of food. We got 7 classes of food. And in as much as we got 7 classes of food, for you to define balanced diet well, is best you define it as this is a diet that consists of, you say what? Hello? Hello? All right. So I say if you the best way to define the balanced diet is to define it as this is a diet that consists of all the what? Adequate what? Nutrients needed for, hello, yo, someone, you need to mute. Yeah, good, thank you. So, like I said, the balanced diet, if you want to define it in the very right proportion, it's best to define it as an adequate amount of what? Nutrients that is necessary for what? Growth and what? Continuous metabolism. Don't go and say 6 because we don't have 6. We have 7. But if you want to accurately put the number, the view number in the balanced diet, you can tell them that this is a diet that consists of what? The 7 what? Type of what? The 7 nutrients or the 7 necessary what? Now, nutrients that will help in what? Growth and what? Development. But I tell you, it's just best you define it as balanced diets can be defined as the type of diet that consists of the adequate, that's good, adequate what? Nutrient needed for what? Growth and what? Development. Like that, you got your mark, you're good, you're free to go. Simple. At that point, you didn't even tell them whether it's 6, you didn't tell them whether it's 7, you didn't tell them whether it's 5, you wrote. But you told them that it has to be adequate. That's Saturdays. So, why is balanced diet important? Obviously, I've said 2 things. Number 1, for growth. Number 2, for development. Number 3, for energy. You need it for energy, to generate energy. Number 4, for body repair. And number 5, for maintenance. And then one that important is that is what is necessary to ensure that our body is free away from what? Certain sicknesses and diseases. If you eat a well-balanced diet, then you're going to free from some certain sicknesses. I don't imagine someone going to the eatery and then you tell yourself you want to buy beans. You have beans and you're still buying egg on it. I don't understand. How many protein do you want to have in one meal? You bought beans, you bought eggs, and then you still telling them they should still give you some fish on top. That is 3 protein in one meal. And per day, you only need 7 milligrams of protein to go for your day. But there, you've already taken more than. And then you already have an excessive amino acid in the body. So you got to be careful. It has to be adequate amount of nutrient. So again, what are the importance of balanced diet? Number one, I said for healthy growth and development. Number two, I said that it helps to prevent against sicknesses and diseases. Number three, it helps to generate energy for metabolism. All right, energy for what? Metabolism. Then number four, it helps for what? Body repairs. It helps in body repair. And then number five, it can give, okay, how I say it can give, it's also important for your metabolism of your what? Of your body. So, rolling it from there, you should know three things. I want you to know three things here. Now, the statement I want to make is that balanced diet is not constant. It's not a constant diet. It varies. What do I mean by it varies? It varies in terms of weight. It varies in terms of activities. Weight and what? Activities. When I mean weight, for example, somebody who is obese has a different diet he has to feed on. Are you together now? Somebody who is obese shouldn't be feeding on carbohydrate and fat any longer. It should base more on what? The vitamins and the what? The proteins. Do you get me? That's in size. Somebody who is what? Malnutrited. You don't tell the person to base himself on one type of meal. He needs to base himself on the adequate amount of what? Of nutrients. You're good. Now, when I mean in terms of activities, I'm going to ask you this, so I need some response. Somebody who is pregnant, and somebody who works in a construction company, who needs more of vitamins? Anybody? The pregnant woman, right? Good. Thank you. The pregnant woman needs more of what? Vitamins. Somebody working in a construction company as one of the what? The constructor, or somebody like the bricklayers. The major thing they will need is food that consists of what? Carbohydrates. So now let's list the 7 classes of what? Of food we have. So let's list the 7 classes of food we have, and then we're going to talk about them. 7 classes of food that we have. Number 1, we got carbohydrates. Also known as sugar. Number 2, we got protein. Number 3, we got fat and oil. Number 4, we got vitamins. Number 5, we got the minerals. Number 6, you got your water. And number 7, we call it what? Dietary fiber. Or some books tell you is what? Roughages. Carbohydrate, protein, fat and oil, vitamins, minerals, water. And then the last guy tells you it has to be dietary what? No, fiber. Now, look at this. I want you to follow me now. Listen, look at what I'm going to classify this as. You see, when they say the primary, they call them the primary nutrients. These guys, carbohydrate, protein, and what? And vitamins. Why they call these guys the welfare? The welfare nutrient. Hello, please mute your mic. Thank you. Thank you. So, we got carbohydrate, protein, fat and oil. You see this 3? We call it the primary. We call it the primary nutrients. Why these guys, we call it the welfare nutrient. Okay? So, now we got to pick one. We'll take them one by one because that's where the question is always fluctuating from. We're going to start with carbohydrate. Then I'm going to put a chart for you on the board here. So, now, note one thing. Carbohydrates are also called sugars. They are also called sugars. So if I write sugar, I'm still talking about carbohydrate. How many types of sugar do we have? Please, we got simple and we got complex. The simple sugar we have, is just one. They are called the monosaccharide. We got the complex, which is our disaccharide, and the polysaccharide. I call this guy mostly structural carbohydrate. Now, let's put the main example of this guy. We got glucose, we got fructose, and when you remember gala, you call this one the galactose. Glucose, fructose, and then when you remember gala, you call it the galactose. Glucose, fructose, and galactose. And then the disaccharide now. The disaccharide, the major guys here, we got maltose, we got sucrose, and then we got the last brother here, we call him the lactose. Now, why these guys are marked? Now, these ones now, I'm going to be mentioning, we got their structural carbohydrates. Most of them are structural carbohydrates. Let me start with this brother. I'm going to start with the cellulose. We got lignin, and we got pectin. These guys are structural carbohydrates. Found in cell walls, all right? Cell walls of plants. Cellulose, lignin, pectin of plants. Okay. Another one, we got these three, the structural carbohydrate found in the cell wall of plants. We got another one. We got murine. Murine, M-U-R-E-I-N, murine is another structural carbohydrate in bacteria. Structural carbohydrate in bacteria is also under the polysaccharide, okay? And then we got chitin. This is another structural carbohydrate in fungi. Another structural carbohydrate in fungi. Are we together now? And then we got starch. And then we got what? Glycogen. These guys are storage carbohydrates in plants and what? An animal. When I was teaching photosynthesis then, I said something. I said the secondary product of photosynthesis, if the primary product was glucose, then the secondary product will be what? I told you it's going to be what? It's going to be starch. Because plants store their carbohydrate as what? As starch. We as animals, we store carbohydrate as what? Glycogen. Where do we store it? It stores in the liver. Are we together now? So don't get it wrong. Don't. Look at this. Now we're going to enjoy this part. We need to enjoy this part well so that you can know what I'm saying. When I say simple sugar, I'm talking about the monosaccharide. Now, what is the general formula for sugar? We say CH2O bracket what? Bracket N. Are we together? But one thing you must understand is that with this, you know you can get a formula of the rest. The same monosaccharide are exose sugar, okay? Exose sugar or pentose what? Sugar. So they now put their formula to be C6H12 O6. Are we together now? While the formula for this one is C12, H22, O11. Are we good? Then while this one is C6, H18, O what? O5. Are we together? So this is for your polysaccharide. But never forget, sometimes when they write this one is going to be with bracket what? N. Because polysaccharide these are not just the only polysaccharide. We got more of them. So this one varies. The formula varies. This is not a constant one. It varies. Okay? That is because of this N. That is here. Are we together now? So please look at the board again. I said we got two types of sugar. I said we got simple sugar, and then we got complex sugar. Now the simple sugar has to do with monosaccharide, and then this is your general formula. This is your formula, meaning the got to be exose or what? Pentose. What are the major examples? We got glucose, we got fructose, we got galactose. Okay? Now, I want you to understand something. If you are a simple sugar, what are your characteristics? It means you got to be soluble. Your soluble form, you get easily digested. Do you get me? You're easily digested. All right? Soluble form, easily digested. And they are the what? The primary side of what? Of carbohydrate. Now follow. Glucose is a common carbohydrate. All right? Now, fructose is the sweetest form of what? Sugar. When they ask a common carbohydrate, answer glucose. The sweetest sugar, answer is what? Fructose. It is the sweetest. The sweetest sugar is what? It's fructose. And that is what is found in your what? In your fruits. All fruits, all the sweet fruits you get today consist of what? Fructose. All of them consist of what? Fructose. Don't forget that. Please don't forget that. When they ask you the common sugar, answer glucose. And when they ask you what? The sweetest of them, answer is fructose. Fructose. But when they say what is a table sugar? Table sugar, your answer is what? Your answer is what? Sucrose. Sorry. Your sucrose is your table what? Sugar. Where do you find maltose? We found them in cereals as malt. Example of such cereals are your Quaker oat. When you take a lot of oat, go check it. You will see what? More maltose in it. Your golden malt has glucose. Some of you that take cornflakes is glucose. The malted Guinness you drink is maltose is used as the sugar. Are we together? I hope you're getting it right. Please don't make errors in this place. Don't make an error. So far, do we have a question before I push? Any question from anybody? Yeah, okay. JC, let me hear you. Let me hear your question, please. No, okay, no question. All right. Any other person, no question? All right, then let's move on. So, I'm still on the simple guys. Easily digested, don't forget it. I say easily digested. I also told you that they are the primary side. And I also told you there can be exose or pentose. So if this guy is pentose, you have to change this guys to 5. And 5, you have to change this one because if you put 5 here, 5 times, this will be 5. 5 times 2 will be what? Will be 10. And then this one will be what? Will be 5 for pentose. But if it is exose, it's 6's, H12, O6. However, one thing we must know is that the exos are the base. They are the major one in the monosaccharide. They are the major one in the what? In the monosaccharide. This, your pentose, are the one found on the DNA. The DNA, we'll talk about that when it's time, when we get to genetics part. You with me? So follow me now. So, monosaccharide, we got glucose, we got fructose, we got galactose. Okay? So, that is what you need to know for this monosaccharides. They are easily digested. They are what? They are soluble in water. Okay, follow me. Now, but when I say complex sugar, that means the first one I want to talk about here is your disaccharide. Follow me. The saccharide consists of two monosaccharide. Two monosaccharide with a reaction called what? We call the reaction, we have hydrolysis, we have condensation. Yep. Huh? You just joined the class there. You have, hello, calm down. Now, hold on. I know you just joined the class now, but you will catch up, okay? I haven't said too far. You can start from here, and then you just check the chat. I'll make it more bold a bit, all right? All right, now let's go back to what I was saying. We are disaccharide now. Now, when we say disaccharide, I said disaccharide consists of two what? Monosaccharide. Consists of two monosaccharide. And when I say it consists of two monosaccharide, and now there is a reaction that says that when two what? Monomers combine together, two monomers combine together, or two small what now? Molecules combine what now? Together to give a what? Bigger what? Molecule, okay? To give a what now? A bigger what? Molecule. That is what forms your what? Your disaccharide. For example, this is what I'm saying. Look at it. Glucose plus what? Glucose. This sign shows that it can be reversible. With the removal of one molecule of water, glucose plus glucose will give us what? Maltose. Glucose plus fructose. Glucose plus fructose will give us what? Sucrose. And this is your table sugar. And the glucose plus galactose will give us what? Lactose. And that's the sugar found in your milk. Glucose Any question? So we got glucose plus glucose, maltose, glucose plus fructose will give us sucrose. Glucose plus galactose